before and after the hour. When you look at this, the top clock on this page, the clock is divided in half. There's a yellow half and an orange half. When the minute hand or the blue hand points at the 6, that means the minutes are halfway around the clock. Since there are 60 minutes in an hour, that means 30 minutes have passed because 30 is half of 60. When the minute hand is pointing at the 6 and the hour hand is pointing at between the 10 and 11 like it is on this clock, we can say that it is half past 10, or we can say that it is 10:30. Let's look at the clock on the bottom. This clock is divided into 4 equal parts. Do you see the 4 different colors? 4 equal parts of something are also called quarters. Remember when we talked about these things in fractions? When the minute hand is pointing to the 3, we call that a quarter after. So if the minute hand were pointing over here at the 3, it's a quarter after because 1/4 of the minutes on the clock would have passed. When the minute hand is pointing at the 9, like it is on this clock, we say that it's a quarter till or a quarter to the next hour because we have 1/4 of the clock to go until it's the next hour or until it's the next o'clock. We can also say that it's 15 minutes past the hour if the minute hand is pointing at the 3, or we can say it's 15 minutes to the hour if the minute hand is pointing at the 9. So on this clock, because the hour hand is pointing almost at the 11, but not quite, we would say that it's 10:45, which is also quarter till the next hour. So the next hour is 11, so we would say it's quarter till 11, or we could say it's 15 minutes to 11. Now, if the minute hand were pointing at the 3, we would say, and the hour hand were pointing between the 10 and 11, we would say it's 10:15, or 15 minutes past 10, or a quarter after 10. Let's look at the times on these clocks. How many minutes after the hour is each time? Looking at the clock all the way on the left, I see that the minute hand or the blue hand, the long hand, is pointing to the 3. Since we count by 5, starting on the 1, that's 5, 10, 15. The hour hand is pointing mostly at the 1, not quite to the 2. So we would say it's 1:15. Two other ways to say that are 15 minutes past 1 or a quarter past 1 because the minute hand has gone 1/4 away around the clock. Let's look at the second clock, the one that's down on the bottom. This hour hand, let's look at the hour hand first. The hour hand or the red hand is pointing almost to the 2, but it's not quite to the 2, so we can't say 2, we have to say 1. So the hour is 1, and when we look where the minute hand is pointing, the minute hand is pointing at the 10. That, when we count by 5s, is 50. So this clock says 1:50. That is how many minutes till 2 o'clock? It's 10 minutes to 2. We also can say it's 50 minutes after 1. Look at the last clock on your own. Figure out what time it is and say out loud the 2 different ways that you could talk about that clock. Please pause your video here to practice those things. Now let's look at the times after the half hour. They are often read as times before the next hour. So these clocks are all almost to the 4. So the way we're going to read these is almost to the 4. We're going to use the number 4, the hour 4. This clock, the minutes are pointing to the 6. The minute hand is pointing to the 6. That means this clock is halfway until the next hour of 4 o'clock. So it's 30 minutes before 4. This clock has 10 minutes to go until it gets to 4 o'clock. So it's 10 minutes before 4 or 10 till 4. 4. The final clock says 1:15. That doesn't say 1:15. Oh, there's a typo, huh? The next clock is pointing between the 3 and the 4. Between the 3 and the 4 shows you that we're going to say 4 o'clock because we're figuring out what is the next hour that's coming. And then we have 1/4 to go before the next hour. So it's 1/4 to 4 or 15 minutes before 4. To tell the time before the hour, we first count by 5s from the minute hand, where the minute hand is pointing, up to the 12. So we're going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We're 25 minutes before the next hour, so we're going to say it's 25 minutes before, and where's the hour hand going to go next? It's going to go to 4, so we'll say it's 25 minutes before 4. Check this clock. What time does this clock say? Write it down and bring it to school tomorrow.